All right, this is Ken Rossignol with the Chesapeake Today. We're here with Josh Guy. He's a candidate for the at-large seat on the St. Mary's County Board of Education. We're at Fitzies Marina at Compton, Maryland, on the beautiful Breton Bay. They're open on weekends. They have great crab cakes. All right, Josh, what brought you to decide to run for the school board, and how's the campaign going so far? It's been going on for about 6 months or so for you, hasn't it?
Yep. Well, Ken, thank you very much for having me here today and agreeing to do this interview. So what basically inspired me to run for school board is, I've seen the problems recently inside St. Mary's County Public Schools, and I thought somebody should step up and try to solve them. I've seen the violent fights. I've seen the effects of the teacher shortage. I've seen the effects of budget cuts and budget restraints and different things like that. And so I'm interested in trying to solve some of these problems that we're facing, especially with the blueprint coming up, and I want to be of service to St. Mary's County.
What about the failure of the school system here and throughout the state on testing for students on math and English arts skills?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, nobody's really learning anything in the state. Is that true?
Well, I'd say that, we're facing a difficult time here, especially in St. Mary's County. And for example, Lexington Park Elementary School, according to the proficiency data we have last year, 8% of students were proficient in math. And what I'd say to that is, what kind of quality of life is that student going to have? What are their job opportunities or their educational and economic opportunities going to look like if they fall behind and they can't catch up?
Well, you put out a couple of comparisons yesterday on Facebook, showing Lexington Park Elementary comparisons with White Marsh Elementary in Mechanicsville. That's the same county, same school system. Big differences.
Yeah, big differences. But one of the things that I looked at to really understand that issue is you had 40% of students at Lexington Park Elementary School who were chronically absent. And if you're not in school, if you're not in the classroom, teachers can't teach and students certainly can't learn. So that's a huge issue that we're facing right now.
Yeah, but COVID's been over for a couple of years.
Sure. But, absenteeism has continued to rise. And the way you do that is, the way we can help solve that is reaching out to parents, working with parents, ensuring that our classrooms are safe, because Lexington Park Elementary School also had one of the highest suspension rates.
Well, you have 2 incumbent school board members, one of which was first elected to the school board when Bill Clinton's affair with Monica Lewinsky was still a secret in 1996.
Right.
And the other one was elected 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And they're running for election this year.
Right.
They want to continue more of the inability to teach kids.
Right. Well, to that I'd say, we've got a lot of candidates running this cycle with a lot of background and different experiences, and I'd encourage anyone to reach out to these candidates and understand where their positions are on the issues and what solutions they have to the problems we face.
Okay, the school board, they spent $11 million on paving sports fields with AstroTurf instead of hardening the school, even though we had a murder at Great Mills High School.
Right.
And in January of this year, 2024, another gun was found and observed in Great Mills High School. We still can't keep a gun out of the school. What will you do?
So safety and security is my number one concern, and I believe that if you don't have a safe school, students can't learn and teachers can't teach. And when I travel this county and I talk with teachers and parents, this is on everybody's mind. So take, for example, Spring Ridge Middle School, where we had 500 suspensions, overwhelmingly for violent fights. And you had some weapons brought in and different things like that. Well, what happens is you have a lot of these students that are returned to the classroom. And I think if you're repeatedly getting into violent fights, repeatedly bringing a weapon into school, repeatedly putting other students and staff at risk of injury or even more serious than that, I don't think you should be returned back into the classroom. That's why I support alternative education programs for these students.
Should they make the parent have to attend school with the kid in order to continue the education?
Well, let me tell you,
they would smack that daylights out of the kid real quick, wouldn't they?
Well, it is interesting, and that's why I think we need to get more parents involved in the school system, and we need to reach out and
require them to come to school if they want to keep their kid in the school.
Well, not only that, you should volunteer, and you should be able to have volunteering inside the school and eliminate some barriers to that, because I've talked to some
You
parents.
mean to let parents come in that have criminal records?
No.
That would be a barrier, right?
That's important. But I'm talking about providing volunteer opportunities to parents to try to get them more involved, and that's what we need. We need more parental involvement inside the schools.
The kind of parent that would volunteer, that's not the kind of parent that you need to come into school. You need to force them to come in.
Right. Well.
And force them by saying, if you want the kid to continue to get a free education, come in and hold his hand.
Right.
Sit behind him with a ruler to smack him upside the head. I mean, because you can't let the teacher do that. The parent can do it.
No. But in order to have effectiveness when it comes to getting parents involved, you have to make a coordinated effort to reach out. And parents feel like they're left out of a lot of decisions when it comes to their child's education.
Well, that's true. I mean, look at the school libraries full of all kinds of weird modern views of sexuality in the school libraries. What is with that? What the hell does that have to do with an education?
Well, I can't really speak on that, because the issue there with books and everything like that is, in my opinion, if a book is sexually explicit, it's not appropriate for school. And I don't think that that's an unreasonable approach to take. I don't think that's a crazy approach to take to that issue. And that's how I feel about it. In terms of instructional material, books, everything like that should be not sexually explicit.
Okay. The record right now of the school system, the school board just spent $1 million on a hot dog stand.
Right.
There were plenty of alternatives. We have the rescue squads, the fire departments, all kinds of groups. They bring in food trucks from businesses that are regulated. They're inspected by the health department. They come in and they provide valuable services. Why couldn't the school system say, look, this is our schedule for football games or basketball games, and we'll let 3 food trucks come in, sign up for a spot? Why couldn't they do that instead of blowing $1 million? Jim Davis is the only one that voted against it. What the heck is wrong with these school board members that think it's appropriate to spend $1 million on a hot dog stand? So, would you do that? Would you vote for that?
No, I think Jim Davis was the voice of reason on that issue. I really think he had it right. But let me tell you, though, Ken, we have a budget that's over $300 million, and we're going to have to make some cuts and adjustments over the next couple of years. Now, a lot of people will talk about admin expenses. Now, I agree, we can always look at admin expenses, but top-level admin has only increased by about $1.5 million over the last couple of years.
Well, do you think it's possible to do what Elon Musk did with X and just take about 80% of the admin and then get rid of it?
Well,
I mean, do these people really do any work?
Well, I'd say that you have to have some level of school administration, and that's just the way it's always been. You've always had principals and workers at Moakley Street, but let me talk a little bit about where I would look in the budget to try to save the taxpayer some money, because this is ultimately your money at work. Okay, so if you look at the budget and you look at places like plant operational costs, your maintenance and utilities, they've skyrocketed over the last 5 years. So we need to make sure that our appliances, stuff like that, are energy efficient, that they're turned off and away when not in use, so we can save on energy costs. In addition, when we sign a contract for maintenance or utilities, we need to make sure that it's cost effective. And then the next place to look is, your fixed expenses. That's your medical and your retirement. Now, I'm not advocating cutting anybody's medical and retirement. Those are their benefits. But we did something this year where we partnered with a private primary care provider to provide medical appointments to cut down on emergency room costs. I want to see that expanded. I want to work with more private providers to cut down on the healthcare costs and things of that nature, emergency room visits. I think that's a smart move. But those are the areas of the budget that have increased exponentially over the last couple of years.
You seem to have really done good research on this job. You take knocks for being young, but when you're young, you'll get over it by just aging.
Yeah, slowly but surely, I'll eventually reach there. But
right. But we have people who are old enough, but don't seem to have 2 cents worth of common sense on handling things, like if you vote for $1 million hot dog stand, or you put in AstroTurf instead of hardening the entrance to a school to keep guns out.
Yeah.
And that's what a couple of the incumbents on, I've interviewed them this year. I've known these people for years.
Right.
But, they need to find something else to do. Mm-hmm. And there's good people that are running against them. David Dries is running against Mary Washington, and he knows his stuff. He talks about the budget like you do and finding ways to be more creative
Yeah.
in getting value for what we're spending.
Mhm.
And his kids have gone through the school system, and he says they've had a good foundation here. He wants to make it better.
Right. Yeah.
Are you comfortable running in lockstep with him and Alina Brewer, who seems to share your attitude towards sexually explicit books in the school libraries?
Well, I run my own campaign. You know, I don't align myself with anybody. I focus on the issues and I go out and I meet the voters. I don't believe in running on a ticket. I don't think that that necessarily helps you. I think a lot of times you need to just stay focused on the issues and.
Well, you seem to be very united with them in terms of your philosophy.
Well, I'll tell you this: David Dries and Alina Brewer, I've gotten to know a little bit throughout this campaign, and I think both of them bring something to the table when it comes to the Board of Education.
Well, you get to vote like anybody else. You going to vote for them?
Well, I don't believe that I should tell you who I'm going to vote
Why
for.
not? I'm asking you.
I don't think that
This is an interview. That's what we do.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. I do think that we need some change on the St. Mary's County School Board, and certainly those two candidates bring a certain level of change.
You going to vote for them or the incumbents? Go ahead. Answer the question.
I'm going to vote for change on the St. Mary's County School Board, but I'm not going to divulge on who I'm going to vote for and who I'm not going to vote for.
Oh, secret ballot, huh?
Secret. That's an American tradition, Ken.
Yeah, well, don't mail it in this state.
Yeah. But no, it's, you know, I think everybody brings something to the table when it comes to
Okay.
the school board.
We've covered a few topics. There's some topics that I haven't asked you about that you want to talk about?
Well, Ken, you know, we covered safety and security pretty good, and we talked a little bit about budget. We talked about parents and.
How about wackadoodle teachers? You just had a assistant principal at Lexington High School plead guilty in circuit court this year to sexual abuse of a student.
Right.
His record, the circuit court record, is missing. I checked just an hour ago. It's still half of it has evaporated off the Maryland electronic court record system.
Right.
What is with that? And I verified he's sitting over in the county jail.
Right.
He's not in the prison system, which means he's got sentenced to local time, but you can't find his sentence. Okay? I mean, and he's not the only one. We had a teacher at Great Mills High School right now he's under arrest and is being checked for putting a chokehold on a student.
Right.
You know,
Well,
maybe I hope he kicked the student's butt. Maybe he needed it.
Yep.
But it is still illegal.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And when it comes to, you know, sexual predators, they should get the fullest extent of the law. You know, they should be sentenced to the fullest extent. I mean, I work in the Maryland judiciary, and I've seen some of these people come in, and they deserve to sit in prison. You know, they don't deserve to walk free or get a light sentence.
Okay, well, that's for today. Josh Guy, he's an at-large candidate for the St. Mary's County School Board. And when's the election, Josh?
November 5th.
And when does early voting start?
Oh, gosh, October 24th or 25th.
And shouldn't people just walk in and vote themselves instead of mailing the thing in until they know it counts?
Well, that's what I do, and it seems to work out pretty well.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. We're at Fitzies Marina, Compton, on beautiful Breton Bay. Visit Fitzies. They have great crab cakes. Thank you.